Welcome to the Know, I'm Ashley Jenkins. Here are a bunch of the stories you've missed. The Pokemon Go news flooding the internet is getting crazier and crazier. We've now had the game hit by multiple DDoS or distributed denial of service attacks, with multiple groups claiming responsibility. And the game has jumped Nintendo stock prices more than 80%. But one of the wildest stories came over the weekend when one man opened fire with a gun on a few trainers playing the game. This happened where else but Florida, when two teenagers were parked outside a man's house catching Pokemon. According to them, the man came out of his house and fired several shots at their car before they sped away. In the morning, they found bullet holes in the hubcap and fender of the car. Florida man, however, tells it a little bit differently, claiming he was prompted by a loud noise which caused him to grab his gun, stand in the street, and tell the boys not to move. He says they then tried to run him over before he shot at them. Of course, the real burning question here is what they caught. Hopefully, it was a rare one. Could the original Dead Rising be making its way to PS4? That was the scuttlebutt yesterday after trophies for last gen's zombie beat-em-up appeared on Exophase, listing quite a few nostalgic accomplishments for the game. Once rumors were out, Capcom did that whole "we might as well get on top of this" thing and decided to go ahead and confirm it. But not only is Dead Rising coming to PS4, it will also be releasing for PC, the first time the franchise has been released on a non-Xbox platform. And in addition to that, Capcom will also bring Dead Rising 2 and Dead Rising 2 off the record to PS4 and Xbox One as well. No word on if we'll see any improvements to the original games in terms of performance, although if reports are to be believed from Capcom's Resident Evil 5 re-release, they may need to do some frame rate work. Star Citizen, the eternally crowdfunded game, may have reworked its refund policies, but that didn't stop one enterprising player from fighting tooth and nail to get every penny back. The player, known as Street Roller, got just over $2,500 in refunds after he took his complaints all the way up the chain to California's Attorney General. It all started when Street Roller was denied a refund by Cloud Imperium Games, despite the terms of service stating that if the game hadn't been delivered within 18 months of its release window, which was November 2014 originally, that backers were entitled to automatic refunds. When Cloud Imperium Games still said no, Street Roller elevated the complaint to the California Attorney General, the Federal Trade Commission, and the LA Department of Consumer and Business Affairs. Strongly worded letters were sent to Cloud Imperium Games, who defended themselves by saying that refunds weren't fair to other backers. I guess if people gave me more than $100 million, I probably wouldn't want to give it back either. You'd probably be spending it building a game, and so now it's gone. Players itching to go on more orb hunting adventures were no doubt disappointed to learn that Crackdown III was basically a no-show at E3 this year. Over the weekend, Xbox marketing manager Aaron Greenberg said on a podcast that the game was delayed to 2017 because Microsoft didn't need the game this year because it's got too many other games and they're just trying to spread those releases around. However, Microsoft Studios manager Shannon Loftus has since clarified those comments to Game Informer, telling them that it's the campaign that needs much more work from the team. In the interview, she said they're now doubling down on the campaign, adding that it's going to be the most fully featured campaign we've ever done. That sounds a little bit more realistic than saying the game got delayed because there were just too many awesome games coming from Microsoft, but seriously, Microsoft, just tell me when I can start hunting orbs again. I need it. That was a good game. We have a Michael Jones because of that game. Now that Game of Thrones Season 6 is over, fans have been waiting to hear how many episodes will be in Season 7's shortened story, and just how long it's going to be delayed for winter. Fortunately, HBO addressed both concerns yesterday. Game of Thrones Season 7 will be launching in summer 2017, which actually isn't that bad of a delay from spring, and will also be 7 episodes long. There have been reports that the final 2 seasons combined would be somewhere in the 13 to 16 episode range, which this all but confirms. They also released a list of directors, which is curiously missing Miguel Sapochnik, who directed 2 of Season 6's best efforts, Battle of the Bastards and Winds of Winter. In addition to all that, we also learned yesterday that Season 6 set a ratings record with 25 million average viewers per episode, which would be an insane number even on network TV, much less premium cable. So it's official. People love boobs and dragons. Who could have guessed? And apparently ghosts. If Ghostbusters' box office response is to be believed, they also like ghosts. The new Ghostbusters movie brought in a respectable $46 million in its opening weekend, the best haul for a live-action comedy in more than a year. The reboot did so well in its first weekend that it's almost guaranteed to get a sequel, according to Sony's president of worldwide distribution, Rory Brewer, who said there's no doubt in his mind it would happen. However, there's still no official announcement from Sony, and there are a number of other Hollywood executives and analysts who feel that $46 million isn't quite enough to put the movie in the success category just yet. They're saying it needed $50 to $60 million in its opening weekend for that. The real test will be in upcoming weeks, but some analysts predict that merely okay word of mouth is already slowing the movie down, not to mention all the brouhaha that happened before the movie ever came out. Sony may not be afraid of old lady reboots, but they're definitely worried about that second weekend drop-off. It'll always get you. If you already thought the number of galaxies in our universe was just too damn high, well, suck it, because it just got higher. The Super Meerkat telescope in South Africa is still very much under construction, but that didn't stop them from releasing some of their first images. In the very first glimpse of one particular corner of the sky that only had 70 previously observed galaxies, the Meerkat was able to spot 1,300, and that probably wasn't just dust on the lens. This crazy amount of clarity was possible despite the super telescope only being 25% complete. At the moment, it consists of 16 separate dishes, but it will ultimately have 64 when the project is complete. If it's already showing us this kind of stuff we didn't know about in parts of the universe we've already observed, can't wait to see what it'll show us when it's finished. Probably a bunch of people standing somewhere going, "Hey, you're not the first." Anyway, crowdfunding seems to be everyone's solution to everything these days, but the people of New Zealand put it to an innovative use this month. When one businessman put his 17-acre stretch of private beach on sale for $1.7 million. Really? 17 acres for $1.7 million on the beach? I gotta move to New Zealand. Locals decided to start a crowdfunding campaign to buy it back for public use. Okay, maybe I won't be buying it, in order to keep it out of the hands of other privateers who might close off access or build on it. In total, over 40,000 backers participated in the campaign, with even the New Zealand government chipping in almost $254,000 of the needed $1.7 million to complete the purchase. There was also a conversation between the campaign and the indigenous Maoris, who value the land because it contains Maori burial grounds, and while Maoris originally wanted the beach returned to them, the two groups found a compromise that would allow Maori youth to help manage the land. So basically, it's a feel-good crowdfunding story all around. I bet no one's going to be asking for that refund. Anyway, that's a good note to close out the roundup. Let us know what you thought of any of these stories down in the comments. For future news from every corner of the internet, like this video and subscribe to The Know. Can you tell I had my coffee this morning? Because I'm not a morning person. Yeah, that's right. Eddy's over there snorting because he knows. He knows.